Hello, welcome to my fourth video in my Excel tutorial series, and in today's video I'll be introducing you to Excel 2013. And this is the Excel 2013 interface. When you launch the Excel 2013, this is what you get. And so you get to choose whether to start with a blank workbook or with one of the preloaded Excel templates. Okay, since I'll be introducing you to Excel, let's go to the blank workbook. So in Excel 2013, you have pretty much the same menu as the previous Excel 2010 and 2007. We have the home menu, the insert menu, the page layout menu, the formulas menu, the data menu, the review menu, the view menu. Okay, this menu is actually new, the theme menu, but this is because I installed Visual Studio 2013 on my PC. That's why I have it here. In yours you won't have it here. So these are the menus you'll have in a regular Excel 2013 installation. So in today I'll be explaining to you the different menu, what you get to do in each of these menus. The home menu is the most used menu. It has your regular data entry editing tools like paste, copy, cut, copy. You get to change font text, font size, make some font bold, make some text italics, underline, change the highlighting color, change the font text color, change font size, increase it, make it smaller, change the text alignment, make it to the left, center, to the right. Pretty much what you do in a normal Word desktop publishing tool, say like Word text, Microsoft Word. And this is the part most people get to understand easily. Now let's move to the insert menu. The insert menu has options, has menu tools that are peculiar to Excel. There's the pivot table. The pivot table lets you analyze a huge table of data, a table with lots of entries, and you need to just quickly have a summary view of the data. So I'm going to, in one of my subsequent videos, I'll be showing you how you practically use the pivot table. Then there's the table. You can convert your entries into table. It gives you some very good default formatting, then some added functionalities like named ranges, where you get to use useful, sensible names for each of your field. And when you enter a new data, it recognizes it as part of a table data. It makes it's good for making a database, maybe a record of all your employees. You can also import pictures. You can put pictures on Microsoft Excel. Some people use Microsoft Excel for the data entry form. You attach pictures, you put in some other objects. Okay, and because I use Windows 8, I can see this. I can get to the store, I can access my applications, and then these are charts that are regular. If you click on this, because I don't have any table selected, it's not showing me, but it shows you some default charts that are most used. The chart tries to recommend for you a chart to use for your data, and then this is you can from here directly insert the bar chart. This is the column chart. This is other charts you can use like the pie chart. Then we've got the pivot chart. The pivot chart is just like the pivot table, but this time around it gives you a chart instantly, unlike the pivot table that creates for you a table. The pivot chart creates both the table and the chart. Then these are actually new to Excel 2013, the power map and the power view. Then we have the line. These are spark lines. These are one cell charts. These are charts that they make your data look very good. They are good for making dashboards. They make charts that fit into one cell. Then you can insert slicer. There's a timeline. You can insert hyperlink. So pretty much in the insert menu, you get to insert things in your Excel table, in your Excel sheet. Then we've got the page layout menu. The page layout menu allows you to change, to format the margins of your Excel sheets. These are majorly for printing, when you need to print out your Excel document. It's here you get to arrange how it looks like in the printout. Here you can set the orientation to portrait or landscape. You can choose the size, whether you want to print it on an A4 letter, A4 paper, or you want to print on this A4, or you want to print on a regular letter size paper. Then the print area lets you select what you want to print. You can select, you don't want to print everything you on your Excel screen, on your Excel sheet. You can select the area you want to print. Okay, what have I done? You can first of all select what you want to print. Okay, say I want to print this part of my Excel sheet. Then I come here and say set as my print area. So whenever I try to print, these are the parts Excel will print out for me in my final printout. Then I can clear that. Okay, you can insert breaks, where you get to see this is very good for setting. This is very good for setting different print parameters, different print settings for different parts of your Excel sheet. The same sheet, but different parts of your Excel sheet. You can set one to print as landscape, and the next to print as portrait. One as portrait, one at the other as landscape. It is here you get to do it. I will talk more on this later in one of my subsequent videos. Here you get to insert a background, you get to insert print title, you get to format. You can scale here, meaning you can tell Excel that whatever is going to print, it should make it fit into one page. So you should make it fit into 1 page wide, 1 page long. This is very useful when you need to print. And here you can make your Excel look like a Word document. You click, by default this is always on, so if you click on it to remove it, you untick it, you won't see those grid lines. They are very good for formatting your data for reporting. When you need to send it out to someone and you want it to look very neat, very fine, use this. You remove the grid lines. So I'm going to put it back as it was before. Then headings, you can, if I remove the headings, you'll see my column numbers, column letters and row numbers are gone, but I like to leave it. I like to see them. And here is just to basically send forward a part of your, maybe a picture or some, to work with objects that you've imported into Excel, to send them backwards, send them forward, and others like that. Then this is the formula bar, formula menu. Here you get to insert formulas. Let's say you know what you want to do, you don't know what formula to use. You come here, if it's what you want to do is with text, you want to deal with text, you can read. Once you put your mouse icon in front of any of the formula, on top of any of the formula, it gives you a tooltip on what it does, and so you can from here find out what formula to use. It's very useful. Sometimes I come here just to check out all the formulas Excel has, and hopefully some other time when I'm working with Excel, I get to realize, yes, I've seen a formula that can do this that I want to do, or I find out a formula that does something better than does a task better than the formula I usually use. So coming to the formula bar, you get to discover formulas or find a formula you're trying to use and you don't know the name for. Then here the name manager lets you assign names to some cells in your Excel sheet. It's very useful, especially when you get to the advanced part of Excel, where you get to make Excel macro programming. You want your programs to make sense. You want them to look quite intuitive. When I look at the program, I get the feel of what it's doing. I don't have to switch between your Excel sheet and the program to find out what you are referring to. So the name manager makes your programming very easy to edit later on, and also to understand. And also for some functions, when you entering some formulas, it makes it also very good, makes your formulas easy to analyze and audit. So also this part of Excel is for formula auditing. Your formula is not working the way you expect. This is where you get to check why, and then you can also watch the results. You have a very complex formula, you want to see it as executing stepwise, use the watch window. And this also, the calculation options does something similar to that. It lets you set whether you want your Excel sheet to calculate now or to calculate later. It's very useful when you are trying to change formulas that are dependent on one another, and you don't want them to update now. You want to change make sure your formula changes first, so you don't get these notorious pound ref error. So this is where you get to do that. Now let's move to the data menu. In the data menu, you get to work with external database. You can import your Access database, you can connect to the web to get data, you can import a text file, and other sources are supported too, like your SQL server, and also you get to sort data here. Though in the home menu you can access the sort and filter, but the actual parent menu is this data menu. So you get to use your sort and filter, do advanced sorting, then text to column helps you break some data fields into more than one field. You have a field of name that has people's first name and last name. You can break it into two fields: first name column, last name column. This is the use of the text to column. Then here you get remove duplicates, allows you to instantly search through a selection of records and remove duplicates. So maybe you have 2,000 records, and out of those 2,000, 200 records are duplicated. It will remove all the extra records. So it's not like it's going to remove all records that have a duplicate. No, it will remove the extra records. So you have just one record in every record will just occur once. No one will occur twice. So then data validation, it's very useful. It lets you do some cool things with your Excel sheets. Maybe link a cell to a set of data range. It's very useful. Later on in one of my subsequent videos, I'll explain how to make a dynamic table and chart with this data validation tool. Then you do what if analysis. What if analysis is very good, especially for analysis, financial analysis, and projections. You do your goal seek to find out how much of sales you need to do to make a target. It lets you set your outcome and shows you what your input should be to get that outcome, goal seek. Then you also do scenario managers. You have a whole setup, more like a financial modeling sort of setup, but less complicated, and you want to see what happens if you keep changing one particular entry. So scenario manager helps you with that. Then you can group a whole set of cells. You can group them as one, which is very good when you're doing some reporting. You want to automatically hide some entries. You don't want your dashboard to look clumsy. So you group some particular collection of cells, especially rows. And so once you send your report out, people don't see that by default. It's only when they are interested in seeing it, they come over there and they click on the expand button to see what you've grouped. And then you can ungroup when you don't want to do that anymore. Then subtotal helps you add. It's actually total, but allows you to apply some filter. So now let's move to the review menu. The review menu is basically for checking your spell check your dictionary words, maybe add to the list of words so it doesn't, and when you're doing spell check, it doesn't give you error for words that are actually correct. You can also translate to another language, add comments, show all comments, hide comments, protect your sheet. When you protect your sheet, it means you don't want people seeing the formulas or seeing some functions, seeing some features in your sheet, in your Excel sheet. So you protect it either with a password or without a password. You can also protect your workbook. No one will be able to access your workbook if you password protect it without your password. Then you can share your workbook, and you can do some other things. You can track changes. The review menu is where you go for all those functionalities. Then we have the view menu. The view menu formats how your Excel sheet displays on your PC. If I click on the page break, you can see what it's doing. It's showing me per page of how my Excel will look like. This is one page. If I had used more spaces than this, it will have grouped. Oh no, not this is not one page. Yeah, it lets me see. It's good for printing. You want to have a view of how your Excel sheet will print out. So you do the page preview, then there's page layout, also good for that. It segments your Excel sheet into pages, more like Microsoft Word. You get to have a feel of how if you print, how they will all come out. You can also add header, add footer, what you can't do in the normal view. And then we have other custom views. Let me go back to the normal view. Okay, you can, here again, you can hide grid lines, you can hide formula bar. This is the formula bar. You can hide headings, and you can do some other, like zoom in, zoom out, new window. You can freeze paint. This is very useful. I will explain it in one of our subsequent videos. You will have noticed there are some Excel sheets you get, and once you scroll, a particular entry doesn't scroll out of view. This is where they do it in the freeze pane. If I want to freeze the header column, such that wherever you scroll, even if you keep scrolling, my header column will still always be there. Header. Okay, so let me do that. So let's freeze that. So if I keep scrolling, it's always there. So that is the use of the freeze pane. Okay, you can also split. I'll explain this later, so I don't make this video too lengthy. Okay, then this one actually isn't going to be in yours. It's an add-in from Microsoft Visual Studio. So thank you for watching today's video. I hope to see you in the next video.